Welcome to our First Gen Native Stories event, where we are hearing from some of our amazing alumni from Northern Arizona University. Today, we'll be hearing from Carletta Jones, who will introduce herself. Carletta?
Hello, everyone. Yate, She'e, Carletta Jones, Yanchia, Kim Lachini Ninchlek, Lugabashachin, Glashi, Dashache, Tachini Dashanella. Hello, everyone. I just introduced myself in Navajo. And just thank you for having me today. I am really excited to be speaking about my experience as a first-gen student and sharing some advice with the students as well. So thank you for having me, Aura.
Great, thank you for coming on board with us. And so we're really interested in hearing about your experience as a NAU First Gen student. Do you have any stories or anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I came to NAU over 20 years ago. It's hard to believe that. And it was vastly different than it is now. There was no robots delivering your meals at all hours of the day. There were definitely not a plethora of buildings that are available now, including the American campus communities, which are the third-party service provider that provides the high end or the high quality student housing, student apartments, which are equipped with on-site workout facilities and eateries right around the corner. So it's really neat to see the campus grow in that regard as far as providing these opportunities for students. Even the strategy that NAU incorporates as far as trying to place students in residential halls that are close, that align with the major that they're exploring. It just kind of provides that community where, you develop friendships and rapport with students that that share the same interest as you, or even have the same major as you. In some of these a lot of the areas across campus are equipped with computer labs and study areas. And so I really applaud NAU for expanding and growing in that regard and offering these services and amenities to the students. So it's really neat to see that. But I decided to attend NAU because I was familiar with campus and the community of Flagstaff because I attended a couple of running events when I was in high school. So I was familiar with the urban trail system and even running through town and around campus. It was offered through the NAU athletic department. I majored in accounting because it was something that I knew I wanted to do. And I think actually my grandparents kind of equipped me with that. I would herd sheep during the summertime, and it was inventory management. So the number of sheep that went out was the same number that you had to bring in, and you had to account for every single one of them. So I felt like I was actually previewing inventory management, which is one of the accounting concepts. But I kind of knew that I wanted to be in business. I just wasn't exactly sure. And when I took my first accounting class, of course, I was terrified because coming from your life as at home where you're a student, you kind of, you know your identity, going to high school, going to practices if you're in sports, coming home, you already have a hot meal and that sort of thing. So you kind of knew, but as far as transitioning to college life, you're coming to campus, you're becoming familiar with that community, but you're also becoming familiar with the overall culture of the community as well. So there was that transition there. But one thing that drew me to NAU was the small class sizes. The class sizes were pretty small, especially when you got into your upper level classes for your major. And I participated in a few clubs while I was also attending NAU. One of them was the Native American Business Organization, which is affiliated with the College of Business. I also participated in Beta Alpha Psi, which was specifically geared toward accounting majors, but I think they actually expanded that to include information systems and finance majors. But as part of those two groups, it allowed me to see kind of just the business perspective across different industries. And even then, I was still trying to figure out, well, what am I going to pursue? What fields and professions are available in the accounting field? So I was just kind of exploring through both those organizations, and those organizations gave me a chance to kind of see, just the kind of skills that are needed as far as any field that you're pursuing, as far as collaboration, communication skills, presentation skills, leadership skills. And so that kind of gave me a chance to kind of hone those skills and develop those skills there. It also helped me to, it provided several opportunities as well, as far as attending conferences, other leadership opportunities, even getting involved in the community, because we were able to participate in different volunteer activities, such as picking up trash around, the trails on campus, or even along the highways across around Flagstaff. And we also helped out at the food bank and at the local food kitchen here. So it also gave a chance to see that perspective. One experience that I remember from Beta Alpha Psi was we had a chance to tour Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. So that was really interesting to see a large scale operation from, the gaming floor back to the end where they capture stuff on the financial statements. And then one memory that I have as well from the Native American Business Organization is we fundraised by doing fry bread sales outside Walmart to raise funds for several of us to participate in a conference in Anaheim that was targeted toward business. And so that was a lot of fun to do that. And of course, we were so close to Disneyland that we ended the trip with going to Disneyland. So that was a lot of fun. So that was part of my experience. And toward the end of my years at NAU, my junior year, I found out about Inroads. It's an international organization that helps individuals of color to get an internship with large organizations. And that was how I was able to get an internship with Ernst & Young. The College of Business hosted Inroads, and I was able to get in contact, submit an application, and get an internship with Ernst & Young, which is one of the 4 major accounting firms, and was able to intern with them and develop an understanding from a broad perspective about external auditing, but then also got that one-on-one teaching from the audit team that I was assigned to. So that was very helpful. As part of that as well, it was I attended conferences that were sponsored through Inroads. I was also able to attend conferences as part of being an intern with Ernst & Young. So I was that summer, that 2-year internship, it was 2 summers, I was able to travel to Boston and to Orlando, Nashville, even to my home state of New Mexico, went to Santa Fe. So that was a lot of fun and got to learn a lot of different things. And just from there, I was able to just continue just to stay in the accounting profession. I worked for Ernst & Young. That internship eventually turned into full-time employment, and worked for Ernst & Young as an a staff auditor for 2 years. And then thereafter just stayed in public accounting. We relocated to Flagstaff in 2004 and have been here in Flagstaff ever since then. Just worked for local firms, a local accounting firm, and I also worked at the Twin Arrows Casino when it first opened as the revenue audit manager. So have always just been in that perspective of the accounting field. But then I transitioned to NAU in 2015, just because that's always been my passion as far as helping others achieve their dreams of pursuing higher education. And working as an internal auditor at NAU, it goes beyond the numbers. You also see the operation piece of it, which can have many moving parts. Some are objective, some are subjective. Operations, even though it's one little word, it just can encapsulate so many different things, from strategy to, deploying human resources. How are we leveraging space? How are we meeting the demands of students and all the different constituents that we might have, from donors to our Board of Regents to the state of Arizona. And so there are just definitely many moving parts with that. And it's just helped me to see even more. I feel like I've really grown beyond just accounting, but also seeing the operational perspective of it as well. Another aspect I'd like to talk about as far as my experience at NAU and as a first gen is being involved in, seeing that part of it as far as, okay, well, we're here to pursue higher education, and obviously you want to develop some sort of career from that. But also there's definitely fun aspects to it. So I participated in intramural flag football for women. So that was a lot of fun. I also participated in the City League volleyball on a volleyball team. And that was a lot of fun. The flag football team, I actually participated because one of my classmates from my accounting group, she asked if I wanted to play, and that was a lot of fun. Had no idea what I was doing. All I had to do was run out, grab the football, and hopefully my flag wasn't pulled. So that was a lot of fun. And then volleyball, of course, I met some Native students, women on campus that were in my classes, and we formed a volleyball team. So that was a lot of fun as well. So was able to balance the demands of schoolwork with, just with trying to relieve that stress that it can bring. So that was a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, it was definitely a very wholesome experience for me, and definitely had its challenges and ups and downs, but overall a wonderful experience, and one that I would not trade for anything.
Thank you, Carletta. That's an amazing experience. I feel like I want to go back to school again. Conferences are such a great opportunity. I'm really happy that you had the opportunity to develop your skills, your professional skills, and even your personal skills, and have some fun. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the second question, what words of wisdom would you share with current Indigenous students?
Yeah, I have a few things to share. And obviously this is not a one-all fix-all type thing. I mean, I think everybody is different and is built differently and thinks differently. But I will say for sure, college is not easy. There are a lot of demands placed on students, and but definitely well worth it. I will definitely say it is well worth the stress that you will endure. The time dedicated to keeping up with studies, but also the time that you have to dedicate to making sure that you're meeting deadlines for your assignments, and also managing all the other things that come with it as far as scholarship opportunities, submitting your FAFSA, attending meetings and whatnot. So, I would definitely encourage the use of something as simple as a calendar, using different tools to help you stay on task and keep organized and that sort of thing. But also give yourself a break. Like I said, it's stressful, but at the same time, there are different ways to manage that stress. And something as simple as taking a walk, going for a run, working out in the gym, there are different avenues to kind of alleviate that stress there. The next thing I would say is, as you become more acclimated to college life, I would encourage pursuing, what's out there as far as student organizations and clubs. There are over 300 student organizations on campus, and they range from something as simple as, flag football, like I said, to something that could be specific to your major. Physical therapy, something in the health profession, engineering. There's all these different clubs and organizations. And with that comes these different learning opportunities, and even opportunities for travel. And also I would encourage even possibly considering study abroad. I did not consider that. I was too scared when I was an undergrad, but just looking at the different programs that they offer, and obviously the safety is the utmost importance of the programs that are offered through the study abroad program here at NAU. So I would encourage just pursuing that and just broadening your horizon related to that. Just reading a few cool articles about some of the students that have participated in study abroad. There's some individuals that have traveled to, now I'm trying to remember, New Zealand, I believe, and just studying the indigenous tribes there and how it's very similar to some of the indigenous tribes here as far as trying to identify, well, what impacts their health and what struggles do they have. So it was really cool and neat to see that. And that's all the way around the world from us. So definitely the major that you're studying can have world application to it for sure. So I would definitely encourage that. And then the last thing I would encourage is just leveraging the NAU Career Office. We have a career office here that helps with networking, resume writing, interviewing techniques, internships. There's a whole list of things that they offer there. It's just a matter of pursuing those. I would also, if you get the alumni invitations, I know that sometimes they'll have events where alumni speak directly to students. I would take advantage of that because it gives you an opportunity to hear real world experience of somebody that's already in that field that you may be interested in pursuing. So those are definitely the things that I would encourage, just to kind of get a well-balanced perspective of the careers that you're exploring. And I think the other thing too is sometimes when it's okay to change your major as well. Obviously there's trade-off with that. It takes more time, but you definitely want to be pursuing something that you feel passionate about. So I would also just just help you, encourage you that, it's okay to say, I've done 4 classes that are related to this major and I changed it because of whatever. I definitely would encourage you to pursue your passion.
That is some really great advice. I agree wholeheartedly with your advice. Those are such great opportunities to take advantage of, and I really appreciate you sharing those very wise words with us and with our students, because those are all things that we at the Native American Cultural Center and the Office of Indigenous Student Success, we can help facilitate those opportunities for students too. So I'm really glad you brought those up. All right, well, thank you so much, Carletta. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we end?
Go Jacks!
Woo, all right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.